King Siliwangi or Prabu Siliwangi, Sundanese word, was a semi-legendary great king of the Hindu Sunda kingdom prior to the coming of Islam in West Java. He is a popular character in Pantun Sunda oral tradition, folklores and tales that describe his reign as a glorious era for the Sundanese people. According to tradition, he brought his kingdom greatness and prosperity. The character of King Siliwangi is semi-mythology, since in Sundanese oral tradition, simply identify the great king of Sunda as King Siliwangi. Regardless the era or historical periods, it is difficult to identify the exact historical character that represented in the legend of King Siliwangi. As the result, the tale of this king spanned and varied greatly, from the mythical era of Sundanese gods to the coming of Islam in the land of Sunda and the fall of the kingdom. Several historic Sundanese kings are suggested, as the real character inspired the legend of King Siliwangi. The most popular interpretation links King Siliwangi with Sri Badaga Maharaja, said to have reigned 1482 to 1521. Another suggestion is that the legend of King Siliwangi might perhaps have been inspired by the history of Naskala Wasta Kankana instead. Said to have reigned for 104 years 1371 to 1475. A linguistical theory suggests that Siliwangi is derived from the Sundanese words of Siliwangi, meaning a descendant of King Wangi. According to Kitung Sunda and Karita Parahyangan, King Wangi is identified as King Linggabuana, a king of Sunda that died at Majapahit in 1357 AD in the Battle of Babat. Hyamvuruk, the Majapahit king, intended to marry Diapitalaka Sitaresmi, a daughter of King Linggabuana. The Sunda royal family came to Majapahit to marry the princess to Hyamvuruk. However, Gajah Mada, prime minister of the Majapahit Empire, saw this event as an opportunity to demand Sunda's submission to Majapahit. He demanded that the princess not be treated as the queen of Majapahit, but merely as a concubine, as a sign of Sunda's submission. Angered by Gajah Mada's insult, the Sunda royal family fought the overwhelming Majapahit forces to the death to defend their honor. After his death, King Linggabuana was named King Wangi, king with a pleasant fragrance, because of his heroic deed to defend his kingdom's honor. His descendants with the same quality of greatness were called Siliwangi, successor of Wangi. After the reign of King Wangi, Prabu Maharaja, Kingdom of Sunda saw 7 consecutive successor kings. Technically all of them are considered as the successor of Wangi, Siliwangi. Some other historians are of the opinion that Siliwangi is derived from the Sundanese word Asliwangi, meaning changing title. One of the stories tells about Prince Jayadwada, the son of Prabu Anggalarang, king of Gala, who ruled from Surasasa Palace in Kawalai. Prince Jayadwada, also known as Ratu Purana Prabu Gurudiwada Prana. During his youth the prince was known as Raden Pamanaraza, the archer of feelings of love. The name suggests that he was a charming and strikingly handsome young man. People easily fell in love with him. The tradition says he was a master of literature, music, dance, and the arts, as well as Pinchak Silat martial arts and the princely arts of sword fighting and archery. An usurper of evil ambition overthrows King Anggalarang and murders him, taking over the throne. The Prince Jayadwada is poisoned, drugged, and cast under a black magic spell that caused him to suffer amnesia and insanity. The powerful but insane prince wandered around and caused trouble in many villages, until Kijadeng Sindongkaj, the chief of Sindongkaj village, managed to pacify him. With the love of Nyambiksi, Kijadeng's daughter, the prince is finally cured from his illness. Prince Jayadwada married Nyambiksi. Later, Prince Jayadwada managed to gain the support of the people and succeeded in reclaiming his rightful throne. Traditions associated King Siliwangi with the mythical tiger and sometimes the black and white leopard, as his guard. According to legends, after the Sultanates of Cirebon and Banten sacked the capital of Pakuan Padjajaran, the king refused to convert to Islam, yet he also refused to fight the invading Muslim forces, since the Sultan of Cirebon was his own kin. Tradition tells that after the fall of Pakuan, the last king of Sunda, accompanied by his faithful followers, retreated to Mount Salak located south of the capital to avoid further bloodshed. Then the king is a Hyang, he disappeared, to become a Hyang or spirit. He turned into a mythical beast, the sacred tiger. Tradition mentioned that the king disappeared in Sangkang Forest, near the southern sea far south in Garut Regency. By the 17th century, the city of Pakuan Padjajaran has been reclaimed by tropical rainforest, and invested by tiger. The first Dutch expedition into inland West Java was led in 1687 by Pieter Scipio van Oostend. He led his team to explore deep south from Batavia, into the remnant of Pakuan and ended on Widkup, present-day Palabu and Ratu. One of the members of his expedition team was mauled by a tiger in the area, 2 days earlier. Scipio learned from Lieutenant Danu Vihaya's men from Sumadong that the ruins were the remnants of Pakuan or Padjajaran kingdom. On December 23, 1687, Governor-General Johannes Camphaus wrote a report that the Hilted Palace and the special exalted silver tablets of the Javanese king of Padjajaran, guarded by a large number of tigers. The report on the tiger sightings also comes from the residents of Ketung Halong and Parungang Sana, who accompanied Scipio on this expedition. Perhaps this was the source of the popular beliefs that the Padjajaran king, nobles and guards were transformed into mythical tigers. The compiled legends of King Siliwangi do not always correspond with historical facts and records, since some events are vague and do not correspond to the lifetime of the historic Sri Badaga Maharaja. For example, the fall of Padjajaran occurred in later times, during the reign of later Sunda kings, the great-great-grandson of Sri Badaga. Some legends seem to simply identify the series of last Sunda kings as Siliwangi. However, these legends try to explain the historical events of the Sunda kingdom, and its relationship with the Sultanates of Cirebon and Banten.